Manchester United remained 100% committed to selling Jadon Sancho and have set a price, according to Fabrizio Romano, of £40 million. We're going to delve into this story and also take a look at Ivan Toney, a bid from North London incoming for him. We're looking at Joshua Zirkzee as well. Plus, Chelsea believe they are about to win the race for Olise. Make sure like buttons have been hit. If you don't get notifications for our videos, join the group chat. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link below so you don't miss any of our content over this transfer window. Let's go. Fabrizio Romano here confirms that regardless of who the Manchester United manager is, Jadon Sancho will be sold if a bid of £40 million or more comes in for the Champions League finalist. Of course, there's interest from Dortmund, but other clubs are looking at him as well. And I'm not going to lie, there is part of me that is disappointed. Disappointed that it didn't work out at Man United for Jadon Sancho. Disappointed that Not disappointed the club's looking beyond him, but just it didn't work out and that it's the end of, I wouldn't call it an era because it wasn't a good era for the club or him in its entirety. But I hope he gets the move. I hope he goes somewhere where he's happy, that he thrives, he has a brilliant career and fulfills his potential because there is lots there. The positive side of this for Man United is £40+ million being raised. I think it's probably about as good as we could have hoped for, given the situation, how much we invested into him in the first place. So look, if Fabrizio Romano's news is true, it's a good bit of poppy for Manchester United to raise. Sancho goes on to pastures new. But I do want to gauge your view and your opinions on that £40 million price tag that Manchester United are setting. Of course, one of the players United are looking to replace Sancho with is the man you can see on the screen, and that is Michael Olise. Various different journalists, some have stated that Man United would be preferred choice between the two clubs. There are others now stating that it's Chelsea. You can see this report here that says that Chelsea hold fresh talks to sign Michael Olise. So Chelsea already have signed one player this summer, having landed Tosin on a 4-year contract ahead of Manchester United and Newcastle. As ever, the business looks set to continue. According to journalist Felix Johnson, the Blues have now held fresh talks with Michael Olise from Crystal Palace and are currently leading the race. Now, if you're familiar with Felix Johnson, he is very heavily... When I said we're connected, I want to make sure I'm being fair here. His stories are nearly all about Chelsea, not other football clubs, unless it's connected to Chelsea. So he's very Chelsea-centric is probably the word I'm looking for. He believes, his followers believe, that Chelsea are leading the race. Many people connected and surrounding their group believe that Chelsea are going to get it done. They have held fresh talks. They've already signed a centre-back. And the one thing you'd say about Clearlake and Todd Bowley and those guys is whether you agree with their approach, whether you agree with their process, whether you agree with their project that they're trying to build, their policies, etc. They do get transfer business done. And they get it done sometimes very, very quickly indeed, especially when they sort of sense that blood in the water. They strike while the iron is hot. They get it over the line. And they often leave their rivals sort of quaking in their boots. Almost that situation. Did that just happen? Did I just see that? Like you're almost in a little bit of shock. And Arsenal fans felt like it with Mihailo Mudryk. Liverpool fans felt like it with Caicedo. And as a Man United fan, I have this sort of feeling in relation to this Olise deal that maybe before we even get started, Chelsea have already got it done. But either way, Michael Olise is a sensational talent. I think he needs to step up now where he's up against more low blocks. I think he needs to step up where there is more pressure. Delivering for Crystal Palace is a difficult job. It's a big professional team. But I think it pales into insignificance compared to playing for a Chelsea or a Manchester United, the media scrutiny, the way rivals treat you, the online conversations, because everybody rates Olise now. The second he signs for Chelsea or the second he signs for Man United, the world for him will change. There'll suddenly be people looking at all the little mistakes he makes, the flaws. There'll be compilations of his problems, and that'll be pumped into his social media view. And all these things make it harder for you. So I'm intrigued to see him at the next level. It looks as though this summer he's going to move. And according to the reports today, Chelsea are leading that race. Now, staying in London with a touch of Manchester, this claims here that Arsenal and Man United still want Joshua Zirkzee. Both Man United and Arsenal have had other transfer targets this summer, but Zirkzee is believed to remain under consideration. It says here that having starred for Bologna's run to the Champions League, the former Bayern youngster is in demand. According to Sky Sports, the forward has a £34 million release clause the Gunners are considering activating. And it's an interesting story. The problem with this, and I'm sure there is still interest from Man United, there is still interest from Arsenal. The problem with this deal is that according to reports coming out of Italy today, he has already agreed personal terms with AC Milan. Now, as we know, players can agree personal terms and still sign for other football clubs. So it doesn't mean that Man United and Arsenal have no chance in this. The report does state that it's Arsenal. Man United's on the radar. Arsenal are potentially looking to trigger that £34 million release clause. But again, it's just my opinion based on all the news surrounding this player that I've consumed. He looks like he's AC Milan bound. So if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't get my hopes up. As a Man United fan, I am, of course, not holding my breath. But he's an interesting player, Joshua Zirkzee, because this time last year, he was linked to all and sundry. He's linked to Arsenal and Manchester United right now. But it seems to have gone a little bit quiet. After having what he believes to be, I didn't watch any of his games, to be fair. I'm only going by what I'm reading. A pretty good season. And I'm always intrigued why the hype dies down. And maybe it's because fans hype a player up and the media kind of jumps on board. They realize they can get clicks and they realize they can, put people into a frenzy. And when the hype dies down, maybe they're just not, maybe he's still linked to more clubs than we're seeing. But someone actually said to me the other day, Terry, why is it that after a connection is made by one journalist, all the other journalists start finding out information miraculously? It's because they start asking questions. Sometimes you're not briefed about a situation because it's not a hot topic. But if suddenly you hear a rumor that Zirkzee is going to Arsenal, all the journalists will start contacting Zirkzee's agent, his current club, Bologna. They'll suddenly start contacting Arsenal. They'll start contacting other clubs that have been linked to him to put stories together because now there is public interest. They don't ask questions about every player in every club in every situation. That would just be ridiculous. It would be a very, very, very big waste of time. But Arsenal fans, Man United fans, do you want to go in for him, or do you think, as I do, this is done and dusted as an AC Milan deal? Now, staying in North London, Tottenham are set to make a bid to sign Ivan Toney. Tottenham did not have time to replace Harry Kane last summer, but are expected to do so this time around. Whilst Timo Werner has already signed on loan, Spurs are keen to strengthen their area. According to Football Transfers, they are set to table an offer worth £40 million to sign Brentford's Ivan Toney. And I am going to say this now, £40 million for him is a snip. If Spurs, I think Arsenal, I think Man United, I think we're all making an horrendous mistake allowing Tottenham to get this done. Now, Tottenham fans are going to say, no, Terry, we're just winning the race. And that could be true. That could be true. But I think Ivan Toney is an absolute stellar football player. An absolute stellar football player. I would love him at Man United. And at £40 million, if that price, as quoted in this story, is true, that is absolutely phenomenal. It is a wonderful piece of business for Spurs if they're able to pull it off. His hold-up play, the way he'll be able to bring their wide players into the game, his ability to score. And if Spurs create the abundancy, the vat of chances we saw this season, he is going to feast because he's far better than the Richarlisons of this world. And people like Richarlison and everybody that played centrally really for Spurs last season, they just wasted too many opportunities. He's great. I'm very jealous of this deal. If it goes through, I'm very, very jealous indeed. And they're also linked, Spurs, to Eze. And I look at it and think, if they pull off Eze and Toney, that attacking line takes a completely different turn. Suddenly, you think about Big Ange Postecoglou, his style of football, adding that quality of player to the mix. Additionally, with the speed and the power and the athleticism that the two of them bring, their skill set is undeniable. Different kettle of fish. Could push Spurs to that very next level. Give me your thoughts and give me your feelings in the comments section below. Please smash the like button. Join the transfer group chat as well. And we'll see you later on today. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Peace.